Hello and warm welcome to the Selindor Turf Club for our barrier trials this Tuesday, the 1st of July, with 5 trials taking place, and the runners and riders will be up on the screen shortly for the first trial, which is off at 9 in approximately 9 minutes time, as the screen will come up shortly. And the runners and riders for trial 1, 10:10, will be ridden by Zil Hilmi, Engine Start and Andre de Silva, Wise Man and Zed Kareel, Trudeau Pegasus, AK Lim, No Regrets, J. Ikram, Pacific Commander, H. Haikal. So there is a change there with Pacific Commander. Haikal gets the ride instead of Troy C. War Starts, ridden by Atmazani, and Stop the Water will be Lala de Souza. So field of 8 runners for the first trial, working on a good track and over 1,000 meters on track 2. And just take note for the end of the trials. Trials 3, 4 and 5 will be contested on the sand track. Trial 1 up soon in approximately 8 minutes time. Runners moving in for the first of our 5 trials this morning. 10:10, the first one to move into line. Field of 8 runners as engine starts about to step forward. Engine start, Treasure Pegasus and No Regrets being chartered to run this Sunday. Only the one race meeting this weekend on the 6th of June. As Treasure Pegasus is the next one to step forward. Now for the turn of No Regrets. Moves into line. Pacific Commander. And we're not too far away from a start, just 3 more runners left to load. Wise Man. And the remaining 2, War Star and Stop the Water. Stop the Water trialing as a Selangor mile race runner. So very interesting to see how he shapes up here. As War Star moves into line and Stop the Water, the last to load. Stop the Water. One final push. Moves in. 8 runners, 1,000 meters, trial 1 for the morning. Gates are back, away and trialing from the 1,000 meter mark, and the starters caught them to a pretty level beginning. From the wide draw, Stop the Water, the quickest to respond, goes to the lead down the back straight. Engine Start racing away in second with 10:10 Battle on the inside in third. Now being passed up on the outside by War Star, who's in search for a better position around runners. A length and a half further back in the field we go to Treasure Pegasus racing with Wise Man. Then comes Pacific Commander and switched off as No Regrets, racing about 8 lengths off the leaders. They're homeward bound with just on 500 meters left to travel. Stop the Water, going to try and go barrier to box up in front. 2 lengths further back to Engine Start. Then comes 10:10 racing alongside War Star. Down along the inside is Wise Man. They're being followed by Treasure Pegasus. Deeper out Pacific Commander. No Regrets, the back marker as they're into the final 200 meters. Stop the Water in front by about 2.5 lengths. Then comes Engine Start and deeper out Pacific Commander with a late challenge, but Stop the Water is too good for them here. Will win in a very comfortable gallop. Second place will go the way of Pacific Commander, followed by Engine Start. Then deeper out on the track you had War Star, followed by Wise Man, Treasure Pegasus, then came 10:10 and No Regrets was last of all. So Stop the Water from the Richard Lyon stable and Lala de Souza aboard, trialling for the Selangor Mile on the 20th of July. And wins this trial in a very, very easy manner. Never came off the bit once and practically hard held right down to the line. Second place went the way of Pacific Commander, followed by Engine Start. Fourth placing went the way of War Star up on the outside, followed by Wise Man. Then came Treasure Pegasus, followed by 10:10 and No Regrets was last of all. So just to repeat the numbers, Stop the Water, the winner. Second place, Pacific Commander. Third place, Engine Start. In fourth was War Star. Fifth place went the way of Wise Man. In sixth we had Treasure Pegasus. Seventh, 10:10. And last across the line was No Regrets. That completes Trial 1. Up next is Trial 2, once again over 1,000 meters. And the runners and riders will be up on the screen shortly. Runners and riders for trial 2 for the morning. And I think we do have a few changes as we'll quickly go through the field. Mr. Wind will be ridden by Shafiq. Solid as a Rock, J. Ikram. The Ocean Park runner will be ridden by Zilhilmi rather, so there's the first change. Zilhilmi to ride the Ocean Park foal. 1 Alakazam will be ridden by Fitri. Raise Your Glass, so there's a mistake. Yeah, we got Zilhilmi aboard 2 horses. So I'm sure we'll get the correct jockey for either the Ocean Park foal or Raise Your Glass. Then Summer Wind will be ridden by Oscar Chavez. So it seems like Northern Cafe has been taken out. Northern Beach has been taken out. And I think that's just about it. So obviously we'll wait and see who gets the ride aboard Raise Your Glass and the Ocean Park runner, as the runners will make their way down to the start shortly. So I think the problem has been solved. Raise Your Glass will be ridden by M. Etial, whereas the Ocean Park foal will be ridden by M. Zilhilmi. So those are the changes there for trials 2. As the runners should be making their way down to the start, they are on track, and a few of them cantering down to the 1,000 meter mark. So the first one already locked and loaded away, Raise Your Glass, who's been on his best behaviour so far, moved straight into the starting stalls. So we've got a field of 6 runners for this trial. Initially it was 8, and we've got a few jockey changes as well, as Mr. Wind is about to move into line. Still waiting on Mr. Wind. So Mr. Wind just lashing out a little bit and being a little bit fractious behind the starting stalls. So they currently work on Mr. Wind. This will be the last of the trials on track 2 before we head across to the sand track for trials 3, 4 and 5 today. As Mr. Wind is really proving to be troublesome down at the start. I wonder if they'll start loading some of the other runners instead. And it seems like they'll do that with Solid as a Rock. Solid as a Rock moves in. Now they'll try again with Mr. Wind with the blindfold on. Moves up to the starting stalls. He's now halfway in and steps forward. So Mr. Wind with the blindfold on moves into barrier 1. And that's half the field loaded away as we still got 3 runners left to load. As the Ocean Park gelding's ready playing up and reared up just before moving in. Now moves into line. Now for the turn of 1 Alakazam. Steps forward. And just one more runner left to load, which will be Summer Wind. And then we'll be set for a start. Summer Wind steps forward. 6 runners, 1,000 meters. Trial 2 for the morning. We're set and ready. Gates are back. Away and trialing from the 1,000 meter mark. Starters caught them to a pretty level beginning. Summer Wind from the outside gate responded well, but is going to drop back in the field. All the while, the Ocean Park gelding pushes forward up on the outside under Zil Hilmi, joined alongside now by Solid as a Rock. And these two lead the field heading down the back straight, a length and a half further back to 1 Alakazam, now being passed up on the outside by Raise Your Glass and Summer Wind. And the back marker at the stage is Mr. Wind, who's outpaced and racing about 7 or 8 lengths off the leaders. They make their way past the 500 meter mark. It's a line of 4 up in front. The Ocean Park gelding with the narrow advantage. Battle on the inside is Solid as a Rock. They're being followed deep out by Raise Your Glass alongside Summer Wind. Then a breakaway about 6 lengths to 1 Alakazam, and well outpaced in the field that would be Mr. Wind. As they're into the final 250 metres, these three runners spread right across the track, but Summer Wind now starting to put his best foot forward up on the outside, starting to extend his stride. Down on the inside, Solid as a Rock. These two left to fight it out with the run down to the line, but Summer Wind will have the better here over Solid as a Rock. Wins by about 3/4 of a length. Second place, Solid as a Rock. Then came further back in the field, Raise Your Glass, followed by the Ocean Part Gelding. Then a breakaway of a couple of lengths to one Alakazam, and only crossing the line now was Mr. Wind. Summer Wind under Oscar Chavez for the SY Lim stable. She had quite a rough trip in transit around runners. It quickens up quite nicely up on the outside. You had Solid as a Rock. You had quite a nice run down on the inside, but Summer Wind worked over time and will win by just about half a length, if not 3/4 of a length, as they hit the line. So Summer Wind followed by Solid as a Rock. Third place went the way of Raise Your Glass. Then came the Ocean Part Gelding back in fourth. And there was a bit breakaway to the next runner, one Alakazam. And last across the line was Mr. Wind, who lost touch with the field heading into the turn and was pretty much never in contention and finished probably 20 lengths behind the second last horse. So just to repeat the numbers, Summer Wind the winner, followed by Solid as a Rock in second. Third place, Raise Your Glass. In fourth was the Ocean Park Gelding, followed by one Alakazam in fifth. And Mr. Wind was back in sixth. That completes trial 2. Up next is trial 3. We've got 3 trials remaining, and all 3 will be on the sand track, so they'll head everything across there shortly. And the runners and riders will be up on screen just after the slow-mo replay. Runners and riders for trial 3 for the morning. A field of 5. Italian Revolution will be ridden by Beholden. Her leader to be ridden by Oscar Chavez. Cinnamon Blaze, Clyde Leck. Cavalry will be ridden by Andre De Silva. And Sakura will be ridden by M. Zaki. Those are the runners and riders for trial 3. And it should commence in about 6 or 7 minutes' time. So the runners are moving in for trial 3. Cinnamon Blaze moved in riderless with Clyde Lett waiting on the side. It now has jumped aboard as Italian Revolution's moved into line. 2 runners from the Charles Lett stable, Italian Revolution and Cinnamon Blaze. Her leader, and just 2 runners left to load. Cavalry and Sakura will be the last one. Sakura just turns to the side. They'll try and straighten him up again. Rest of the field stand waiting as Sakura starting to play a couple of games behind the starting stalls. And backs away once again. Italian Revolution and Cinnamon Blaze, 2 runners carded to run this weekend. And Sakura, the horse they're currently working on, trialing with the blinkers on today. Which has maybe just sharpened him up and getting him a little bit excited behind the starting stalls. As they try again, and Sakura rearing up. And Zaki managing to stay aboard. Sakura now moves in. Should be a quick start here. Locked and loaded. Just about set. Gates are back. Away and trialing from the 1,000 meter mark. Her leader was a couple of lengths slow into stride after race from the back end of the field. Sakura with the blinkers on towards the outside responded very quickly and goes to lead the field in the early stages. Right there is Cavalry racing away in second, then 2 lengths back to Italian Revolution. And the Bat pairing are well outpaced in the early stages, gaining a lot of sand in the faces. Cinnamon Blaze as well as her leader, who are easily racing about 12 lengths off the leaders as they into the turn, racing about 500 meters from the finish, and up in front Sakura is the leader, going a very hot pace up in front by about 3 lengths. Cavalry racing away in second. Battle on the inside is Italian Revolution in third, currently 6 lengths to make up, and the Bat pairing well outpaced, and a long way back is Cinnamon Blaze with Sakura as they're into the final 250 meters, and up in front Sakura is the leader, racing just ahead of up on the outside Cavalry, then a further 3 lengths back to Italian Revolution. But up in front, it's all Sakura with the run down to the line. Went very fast up in front and will hold the opposition at bay. Wins by about 1.5 lengths. Second place, the way of Cavalry. Then came Italian Revolution, followed by Cinnamon Blaze, and her leader was the last one to cross the line. So Sakura with the blinkers on, up on the outside, was just a little bit fractious behind the starting stalls. Took him a while to load. But once he loaded, he jumped, he went to the front and wasn't for the catching under M. Zaki for the SY Lim stable. And goes start to finish at pretty impressive fractions up in front. Second place went the way of Cavalry and Andre De Silva. And there was a big breakaway of about 7 or 8 lengths in running to Italian Revolution, who was back in third. And pretty much the same margin to the back pairing, which was Cinnamon Blaze and her leader. So with the slow-mo replay up in front, Sakura the winner, wins by just over a length. Made that just about a length and a half. Second place, Cavalry, and then probably about 8 lengths or 9 lengths further back to Italian Revolution. Followed by Cinnamon Blaze in fourth. And her leader was well back in the field and finished a distant last. So just to repeat the numbers once again: Secura the winner, Cavalry second, Italian Revolution in third, Cinnamon Blaze in fourth, and Halida was last across the line. Fourth trial is up next and is carded at 9:40, but we are running a bit behind schedule as the runners and riders will be up on screen shortly. Runners and riders for trial 4, and it's a field of 4, so one runner has been scratched here. Looks like Star North will not be taking part, so that has been scratched. Time to Harvest will be ridden by Shazman, so HS Guild also not riding here. Tangesh to be ridden by Clyde Leck, Torkin Power, Andre De Silva, and Pacific Diamond will be ridden by Oscar Chavez. So those are the runners and riders for trial 4, just a field of 4, and they'll be making their way down to the start shortly. Runners moving in for the penultimate trial for the morning. And after throwing his head a couple of times, Tangash has moved into line. Now for the turn of Pacific Diamond. And just 2 runners left to load. Time to Harvest, who is carded to run this weekend, and Talkin' Power under Andre De Silva. Talkin' Power moves in. And Time to Harvest, the last to load. 4 runners, 1,000 meters. Handler moves away. We're set and ready. And they're away and trialing from the 1,000 meter mark. And one of them have stood in the starting stalls. That would be Talkin' Power. And he's lost easily about 10 lengths. He's well back in the field in the early stages. Towards the inside, Time to Harvest, the first to break. Right there is Tangash and Deep Route Pacific Diamond. They made to a line of 3 with nothing separating those runners. And a big gap of about 6 or 7 lengths further back to Talkin' Power. After that slow start, he has made some sort of improvement to try and stay in touch with the field as they make their way past the 600 meter mark. And up in front, Time to Harvest as they settle fully into stride now. Now goes about 1.5 lengths clear of Tangash. Pacific Diamond starting to lose touch with the field. And then last of all, Talkin' Power, who still has a dozen lengths to make up on the leaders. They're into the final 300 meters. Time to Harvest in front by about 3 lengths. Tangash racing away in second, then 4 lengths further back in the field to Pacific Diamond, and up on the outside is Talkin' Power as they're into the final 150 meters, and up in front, Time to Harvest alongside Tangash. These two left to fight it out with the run down to the line, but it is Time to Harvest who will win pretty much hard held at the line. Second place going the way of Tangash, and then further back in the field, Pacific Diamond, and Talkin' Power, who blew the start, was never in contention and has finished about 15 lengths last. So the winner, Time to Harvest, under Shazman for the EP Ton stable. Wins on the sand track here for trial 4. It was a pretty mixed matched trial. You had all of Time to Harvest, Tangash and Pacific Diamond together heading to the turn, and around the turn the trial pretty much unfolded and Time to Harvest was able to get clear down the home straight, followed by Tangash in second, and then came Pacific Diamond in third, and Talkin' Power, who was practically walked out of the starting stalls, was never in contention and has finished a distant last. So Time to Harvest the winner, Tangash in second, Pacific Diamond in third, Talkin' Power was last of all. Up next, trial 5, the last of our trials for the morning, and the runners and riders will be up on the screen shortly. And the last of the trials for the morning, trial 5. Take note, Top Chili will now be ridden by Akmazani. So there has been a jockey change there for Top Chili. Shihab will be ridden by Oscar Chavez. Ort Wood will be ridden by A Nazir. Jazz Band, S Shazman, and Dream King will be ridden by S Salih. That is trial 5. It should commence in about 6 or 7 minutes time, and this is the last of our trials for the morning. Last trial for the morning. Shihab, the first runner to move into line. Ortwood. Take notes, that's Dream King will be trialing with the blinkers and pacifiers on, and Top Chili will be trialing with the pacifiers on. As Top Chili, Jazz Band rather, moves into line. Top Chili moves in. And the last load is Dream King. Fifth and final trial for the morning. Sets and ready. 1,000 meters. Dates are back and away and trialing from the 1,000 meter mark. And the starter couldn't have caught them in a perfect line than that. Towards the inside, Top Chili, the first to break. Right there, Shihab is up on his outside. Being followed by Ortwood and pushing forward deep route Jazz Band. And the back mark is Dream King, who's switched out from the outside towards the inside rail. Is only racing about 5 lengths off the leader as they make their way into the turn. 600 meters left to travel. Up in front, Top Chili, the leader, by about 2 lengths. Racing away in second, Shihab, being followed by Jazz Band. Then comes Dream King and continues to improve along the inside. And the back marker is Ortwood as about 5 or 6 lengths cover the field as they're at the top of the straight. 400 left to travel. And up in front, Top Chili doing it quite easily at this stage. On his outside is Shihab. They're being followed further back by Jazz Band. Then comes Dream King, and outpaced is Ortwood as they're into the final 200 meters. Top Chili yet to have been asked any serious questions, but Shihab's under the Oscar Chavez drive, now moves into the lead, and Shihab shouldn't be for the catching in the final 50 meters and will win rather easily at the line. Second place will go the way of Top Chili. Then came Jazz Band, followed by Dream King, and the last across the line was Ortwood. So Shihab under Oscar Chavez for the Abdullah stable will win the fifth and final trial for the morning. Top Chili went a decent pace up in front with the pacifiers on this morning. And just faded out in the final 100 meters or so. And Shihab was pretty much given the gun run and able to quicken off the good pace in front. And will take out the fifth and final trial for the morning. Shihab the winner by just over 2 lengths. In the closing stages, second place, Top Chili, the long-time leader, followed by Jazz Band, who was back in third. Then came Dream King, and Ortwood crossed the line last of all. Just to repeat the numbers, Shihab the winner, Top Chili second, third place Jazz Band, in fourth was Dream King, and Ortwood was last of all. That completes our barrier trials for this Tuesday, the 1st of July. Thank you very much for joining us. Take note that racing takes place here at the Sellenville Turf Club on Sunday the 6th of June, of what looks to be a 12 race card on the program. Until then, bid you farewell, and we'll see you at the races this weekend for a 12 race card on Sunday the 6th of June.